leads this team in kills, leads conference in kills. She's been great for the Broncos.
You mentioned her 5th award of the season. She's coming off her 2nd straight coming in here to Mount Pleasant tonight, and will certainly give the Broncos a boost. On the other side for the Chippewas, it's the senior vet, Anna Erickson, been in this lineup from freshman till senior, and looks to make an impact tonight.
You said it. She has the experience. Coming off a good weekend against the other team, they ended up taking it against Northern Illinois. It looked great and ended up being great for the Chippewas.
And we met our highlight players for the night. Now we have to go to the sideline to meet Cristiana Rosa.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to McGurk Arena. My name is Cristiana Rosa, and I will be your sideline reporter for today's Max Out McGurk Whiteout match. Stay tuned for an inside look into today's game, and now back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Cristiana. We look forward to getting back down to the sidelines to you, but now we have to turn our attention to the court. And Matt, your keys to the game.
Well, first for Western, the Broncos are on a 3-game win streak. They've won 9 out of their last 10 cents. They have all the momentum right now and all the confidence. Next, we already brought up Maggie King. Abby Wilcoxon also has over 200 kills this year. Logan Case is a great setter. Watch for this team spread out the offense very well. Now for the Chippewas, they need to defend the net. They didn't really do too well in their last match blocking against Northern Illinois, but Maddie Whitfield's one of the best blockers in the conference. And lastly, they need to avoid the errors. They need to go through the defenders. Don't be too cute and just put the ball in play.
And we'll see if all of those get put into action here inside McGurk Arena tonight. About to get underway. First time these two teams are meeting in Mount Pleasant since 2019. Western Michigan has taken care of the last 2 series, swept them all as Maddie Whitfield goes a bit too long in the first swing of the night.
A lot of adrenaline early. Whitfield just powers that one way too far.
Maddie Whitfield has been quite the beast for the Central Michigan team as the serve comes from Andlin Simpkins. There's a block. Hernandez and Whitfield there to cover, and the Broncos going to stay composed and keep this alive. Ammeraal with the setup, and Hernandez, the Chippewas' leader in kills this season, comes through with their first point of the night.
See a great set there from Ammeraal. Sets up Hernandez beautifully. Well-placed shot, gets the kill.
Mallory Hernandez, that's her 293rd kill of the season. Has her good enough for 3rd in the Mid-American Conference and leads this Chippewas team as Anna Erickson gets dug out in the back row. Big swing off the deflection. It'll go Broncos' way, and that's Maggie King who gets on the board with her first kill.
Maggie King, we brought her up already today. Just goes right through Medendorf.
Now back to serve behind the line for Western Michigan. It'll be Abby Wilcoxon. Raymond there to receive. The setup to Hernandez. Strong, and they'll say no touch there, out of bounds. Western's point.
Already seeing 2 errors already on the Chippewas. Not a good start, but they will stay in this one. They won't go away easily.
Wilcoxon still back behind the service line. Outside hitter, a junior for this Broncos team out of Spring Arbor, Michigan. Last week against the Eagles, had 11 kills for this Broncos team. And what you mentioned has been a pretty hot streak for them as of late, Matt. The Chippewas receive the serve, and Hernandez sends a swing across. Set up in the middle. Maidendorf keeps it alive. King there to receive. The other setup, this time to Brusek. King again from the outside, and right off that front row, it was Hernandez and Maidendorf that time at the tape trying to take her down, but King finds a way to come through.
Yeah, unable to stuff that one at the net. A good play from King once again.
Strong start here from the Broncos as Wilcoxon sends it across. Just off the top of the net, Ammeraal and Gertiza just able to bump it up. Set up to King, again off the front row. Some strong swings from this senior. Stands at 5'10", but very versatile. Can swing from pretty much any spot on the court for this Broncos team, and she's been working hard from the antenna. Ammeraal sets up Erickson. King again. Hernandez there to defend the dump-off. Saved by Central Michigan. And Hernandez with just a bit too much again. And Matt, one of the things you mentioned in the pregame show coming into this match was trying to limit those errors. It was a high error and blocked game for Central Michigan the last time out, which ended in a loss. And now, with a few errors in there, it's 6-1 here from Mount Pleasant. And we'll be back with more after this.
What tools do you need to make your holiday magic? Well, trees for gathering gifts, lights for lighting up smiles. Oh, and don't forget a ladder. Get Black Friday savings all through November at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
How do you create positive change in the world? It all begins with a conversation. Is philanthropic planning a part of your financial plan? Are you confident you can make the largest impact? The Burris Group at UBS can help you plan the foundation for your future and generations to come. Because when you help change the lives of others, it leaves a lasting legacy. See what your wealth can do. Call the Burris Group today.
Back in Mount Pleasant, we have a chance now to look at the head coaches for both of these teams. And first, we have to look at Western Michigan and Colleen Munson, who just not too long ago secured her 400th career win. And you take a look at that, 348 of those wins come with Western Michigan, the other 52 with East Carolina, and what a time she's had with Western Michigan. On the other side, it's the coach for the Chippewas, Mike Golick, 2019 MAC Coach of the Year, and has this team in a position as of right now to stick in that Mid-American Conference tournament. But both of these teams jockeying for position here tonight. The setup by Chase nearly got out of bounds, but kept in. Nice dig in the back row by Simpkins, and Western. Their offense, especially right up at the net, has been very hard to stop in this first set.
They are coming through with very well-placed shots, powerful, going through the Central Michigan defenders.
6-point lead here for Western, as that's just nailed down. King with the anticipation. A bit of a hop, but a strong swing. Finds the floor. And all of a sudden, it's an 8-1 Western Michigan lead.
And that's the 5th kill already in this one for King. Going crazy already.
And that one's set up by Logan Case, longtime partner out there on the offensive side. A swing. And Erickson. And the Chippewas think that one's in. Western Michigan didn't look so convinced on that one, but Central Michigan will take the point.
A big point there for the Chippewas, trying to halt the momentum, being down 8-2 early is a tall hill to climb. But if any team can do it, we've seen that it's been this team.
Central Michigan will have the junior, Cameron Olson, back behind the service line. Case sets up, and it's denied by Erickson. A nice setup by Case, trying to find Brusek right behind her. In the front row from Central Michigan, something they've done great at this season is defending that net. The blocks have been there. And a big one for the Chippewas. Case with a setup to King. Strong, and they'll say touched.
Just tucks it in the line there, it appears. A well-placed shot. Bouncing back after 2 straight lost points.
And obviously, we've talked so much about Maggie King already in this first set. 5 kills so far tonight. But you take a look at the other side, and Logan Case is, that point will go Central Michigan's way. The setter in this Broncos offense, Case was the 2021 MAC Setter of the Year and has a 2-time first-team All-MAC teammate in Maggie King, and those two seem to be quite the dynamic duo in Kalamazoo. As there's a service ace for Anna Erickson.
Anna Erickson coming up huge in this one already. Already has a kill, a block. Might as well add in that ace as well.
Central Michigan in the higher part of the Mid-American Conference when it comes to aces. As there's another block of the net. Maidendorf getting in on the action. Iverson-Ammeraal there too. The deflection that stays in, and Central Michigan has brought this back within 3 points. Serve from Erickson skims the top of the net, and big swing by Julia Marr that just deflects off Ammeraal in that front row. Puts the lead back to 4. Mary Claire Brusek back behind the line. Ammeraal sets up Maidendorf. The block at the net will be deflected out of bounds. Made contact with Marr. And it's back to 3 points. Just a separation between these rivals.
Maidendorf is coming up huge right now in this one. She has a couple of points already in this game. Coming out now for Brandon to serve it.
So far through this first set, Maidendorf leading this Chippewas team with 2 kills. Chase setting up. A missile sent across, and then we'll say out of bounds. Big swing from Amanda Glanton, the freshman, who's done some great work in that front row for Western Michigan this season. Couldn't quite find the floor. The serve flies out of bounds from Kayla Brandon. It'll go right back to the Broncos. So Western starting off hot, got up to a 7-point lead early in that first set. Now it's back to 3, 11-8, Broncos on top. And one of the matches that they really need. 3 matches left in the season for both of these teams, including this one. And both would like to win as many as they can. For Western, that's the real only way to guarantee them a spot in this year's MAC tournament. Raymond deflected in the front row and just a bit out of rotation there for the Broncos.
Being in the right spot at the right time. A good set there from Ammeraal. And Raymond able to finish it. It's too strong for the Broncos defenders.
Had their big blockers over there, including Amanda Glenn, the freshman we were talking about, who leads this Broncos team with 70 blocks. There's the setup. And what a nice swing. Right from the antenna, it's Abby Wilcoxon. Look at this setup from Logan Case. Back out to a 3-point lead for Western. Regan Boyer, the serve for the Broncos, as Raymond unleashes one into the net for the Chippewas. Back to a 4-point lead. Boyer back behind the service line, a freshman out of Downers Grove, Illinois. It's an athletic family. Father Brooks played basketball at Notre Dame in the early 90s. Her sister Jocelyn currently plays volleyball at Wisconsin. Finds herself here in Mount Pleasant tonight. Raymond dug out in the back row by Boyer. Broncos keeping things alive as King sends it across. Ammeraal dumps it off and finds his spot in the middle of the defense.
Claire Ammeraal will do that to you. She takes her chances when she gets them. Nobody expecting that dump. Perfectly placed. Great point for the Chippewas.
What an addition to Central Michigan this year, having Claire Ammeraal step into that main center role. She's aggressive, but seems to have that type of experience you don't necessarily see from a freshman all the time, as Wilcoxon comes across strong again. Currently 4 points separating these two teams. Simpkins with the serve. Simpkins with the dig that time. Case keeps it on the Broncos side. Curtiza will bump it up to Hernandez, and that time it's King making a play. King and Brusek go up. Looked like King had the last touch, and point goes the Broncos' way. Ammeraal sets up Hernandez, puts it off the front row. Erickson with the touch. Here's Case to keep it alive. King dug out by Erickson, and the whistle blown. And they will give that point to Western Michigan.
Maggie King is proving to be a problem in this one. The senior is the biggest player on this team for the Broncos so far.
6 kills on 11 total attacks so far for King, as Whitfield is blocked to the front row. Case And a nice dig by Gertiza. Dump over by Ammeraal. Here comes King. Just in front of Raymond in the back row. And the Broncos continue to roll here in this first set.
Yeah, they are on a run. They cannot be stopped right now, forcing a Chippewas timeout.
So Central Michigan will take a quick breather here in this first set, down 17-10. And it's a great time to look at the series history. You know, we mentioned that teams haven't played here in Mount Pleasant since 2019. And it's been really dominated by Western over the last couple of series. But overall, it's Western series. And the big thing, we talked to Coach Golick about it, there's, only a couple of seniors who have played here just once on that Western Michigan team in a rivalry matchup. You'd find that kind of weird, but because of COVID, a lot of those games ended up being in Kalamazoo. And now Western gets a chance to come here to Central Michigan's territory, and they're off to a good start.
They are putting everything in play. Looks a lot like the last couple matchups where Western's just come out ahead early.
Western, they're huddled up. They've swept the last two season series in 21 and 20. 2019, again, the last time they played here, and now Central Michigan. And taking a look, again, it's King from the outside. She's been very hard to stop from that pin. It doesn't matter if she's gone through the front row or over it. She's found a lot of spots and has racked up 8 kills so far here in this first set.
She can score from any position. She is lethal on the attack.
And what a career she's had at Western Michigan. Has announced as that serve goes into the net that she will be returning for her 5th season with the Broncos. Already 2-time first-team All-Mid-American Conference and looks to add to that this season. There's a big block in the front row. Erickson coming up with the coverage.
Chippewas were already down 7 once in this one. Down pretty far once again. But Erickson led the way on the first comeback. Looks to start another one with that block.
And there's a swing. King coming across and has really done a great job of putting away any momentum that Central Michigan has built up. And that's saying a lot considering how many people are here inside McGurk Arena tonight. Both these teams very close in the landscape of the Mid-American Conference. Just one win separating these two teams. And you add the rivalry on top of that. Some in-arena festivities and, well, you got the energy here tonight. King off the front row. Raymond there to handle it. Hernandez off the front row, and what a stop. Simpkins keeps it alive. Strong swing. And they will give that point to Western Michigan. And immediately, coach for the Chippewas, Mike Golick, steps up, grabs his green card, talking to an official, and it looks like we might have our first challenge of the night.
That one was really close to the line, Riley. Immediately, Natalia Rummon and the rest of the Chippewas players said, no, that looked like that was out, but let's see what happened.
So looking at whether this one is in or out of bounds. And that is very close to that Mid-American Conference shield in the back. And also very close to that back line. It'll be interesting to see which way this one goes.
It will be. I'm bad at guessing, so I'm not going to on this one. My track record is not great this season.
Well, mine's not great either, but all we do know is that they're taking a look at this. The call on the floor is that the point goes Western's way, which at this point in this first set, very big moving forward. You mentioned Western has had some really good momentum coming in here tonight, Matt, winning the last couple of sets and their last couple of matches as well. Now, if this stands, it'll end up being a 7-point lead for the Western Michigan Broncos. So right now, during the challenge, 7 points separating the two teams. And taking a good long look at this one. Both teams having a good time in their time during this look back at the last play, which I've already mentioned a couple times. Very big in terms of how this first set starts and how it sets the tone for the rest of this match. So Western Michigan coming in with some momentum, with some consecutive wins. Central Michigan coming off a loss to NIU. And after the review, they will say that it was in bounds. Western Michigan will still have the point and also still have their 7-point lead here in the first set, 19-12. Abby Wilcoxon back to serve. Raymond with a bit of misdirection. Hernandez tries to save it. And that one will just deflect out of bounds. And Western Michigan continues to just pull ahead. Ammeraal sets up Hernandez, and that one nailed down. Right in front of Wilcoxon. One of the stronger plays of the night for Central Michigan. We'll take another look at it because look at that power. Not a ton of time for Wilcoxon to adjust and dig it out.
Now Hernandez goes right at Wilcoxon there. Beautifully placed ball right in the middle. Unable to stop that one.
Case sets up on the antenna. Central Michigan handles it. Erickson just pushes it across. Off the arms of Gertiza, and that one will go to Western Michigan. And again, on that ball right there, Matt, look at Case come all the way across just to set up King again. And another point for the Broncos.
Yeah, they have great chemistry, and it is really showing in this one.
Ammeraal contesting at the net. Erickson puts it off the front row. Nice dig by Marr and a dig by Raymond now. Swing from Erickson, and they'll say it's in bounds.
Erickson, powerful, ends up tucking that one just inside the line. Great placed ball. Chippewas need to go on a run to stay into this first set.
Well, there's been one tie so far, and after that tie, just one lead change. It's been Western Michigan the whole way, and they'll continue to add to it. Julia Marr, the sophomore outside hitter, coming up with a nice feed from Logan Case. Ammeraal sends it over, and they'll say that she got tangled up in the net. It was an aggressive move from the freshman, and that will give Western Michigan another point. Brusick with the serve. The setup, and the swing from Maidendorf will find the floor. Central Michigan continues to fight here in this first set.
It looks like the Chippewas have been attacking the middle of the floor, not trying to get too close to the lines. A very well-placed shot there, gets the kill.
Well, the sophomore, Kayla Brandon, back in to serve. Case sets up Marr. She's denied at the net. King, from the back row that time, sends a strong one. And Raymond will send it right back. And that one nearly stayed in play. Have to give a ton of credit. I mean, really throughout this entire first set, but specifically that play from Andolyn Simpkins. Obviously a defensive specialist and libero for this Broncos team, wearing the libero jersey tonight, and trying everything she could to keep that alive. A big block. Claire Ammeraal and Maddie Whitfield on the right side of the net. Nice setup by Case. Marr tried to go right through it, and it looked like Ammeraal caught most of that one.
Ammeraal got up and got that one. The Chippewas are not going away easily in this first set now.
Brandon continues to serve. Set up, and what a move. That's the tempo that a lot of teams around the Mid-American Conference talk about when you get ready to face the Western Michigan Broncos, and what a feed from Logan Case.
Great feed from Case, like you said. Glanton just put that one through the floor.
Speaking of Case, now back behind the service line. 2021 MAC Setter of the Year. 2021 First Team All-MAC. It's Raymond. Send one to Simpkins. That'll stay inbounds for the Broncos, and they close out easily here in the first set. 25-17. Your final score of this first set. 10 kills for Maggie King, and we'll be back with the second set in Mount Pleasant.
What tools do you need to make your holiday magic? Well, trees for gathering gifts. Lights for lighting up smiles. Oh, and don't forget a ladder. Get Black Friday savings all through November at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
You think about the future? We do. Every day, the British Group at UBS helps people plan for their financial future with 3 key strategies: liquidity, longevity, and legacy. You have a cash flow for short-term expenses, a plan for long-term needs, and a strategy for needs that go beyond your own? You don't have to have all the answers. We have the right questions. Call us today.
Welcome back to Mount Pleasant, where we come to you after a first set victory by the Broncos. But before we get back to the action, let's pay a visit to Christiana Rosa down on the sideline.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to McGurk Arena. For today's Max Out McGurk match, Central Michigan is looking to not only defeat the Broncos, but they're looking to break some records as well. McGurk Arena's current attendance record is set at 1,100 attendees, and what better way to break this record than at one of the biggest rivalries in the Mid-American Conference. Stay tuned for some updates regarding this. Back to you guys.
And we mentioned the first time playing in Mount Pleasant here since 2019 for this rivalry. Obviously, Christiana's got some good stuff down for us on the sideline. A lot of people here inside McGurk Arena tonight. They've all got that Max Out McGurk towel. And from what I've heard, a lot of student-organized things happening here tonight that's got a lot of people in the building.
There is, and you can tell that there's a lot of people in the building whenever Central Michigan scores. This place shakes.
Central Michigan had a couple of small runs in that first set, but really it was all Broncos. 25-16, the final score of that first set. And now Central Michigan looking for a bounce back here in the second.
Yeah, they need to mirror King. King was dominant, and the big problem is errors. Early in that first set, they fell behind because they had a lot of errors. Kind of cleaned it up in the middle of the set, but still just fell too far behind too early in that one.
Dominant and efficient, Matt. Swung 579 in that first set. 11 kills on 19 total attacks. Has 11.5 points so far because of 1 assist on a block. Has a couple of digs, and Maggie King has been everywhere. Have to give a ton of credit to Logan Case as well, who has already racked up 13 assists in the first set. As Central Michigan will send Natalia Raymond back behind the service line. Arguably the best server on this Central Michigan team. At that point, we'll go to Western Michigan, so not exactly the start you wanted there.
A big service error to start off this second set. Like you said, not how you want to start it off.
Abby Wilcoxon, first serve in this second set for the Broncos. Ammeraal just not on the same page as Whitfield there. Looked like she was looking for some arc on that set from Ammeraal. We've seen a lot of the tempo, a lot of the shorter passes from Case to the rest of her teammates on the Western Michigan side. Looked like that was what was looked for there from Whitfield. Big swing from Hernandez. Simpkins again goes sliding across the floor just to try to keep it alive. The effort has been there from Simpkins all night, and it certainly has translated to the scoreboard.
It is. She's going to feel that one slid into the bleachers here at McGurk, but a big point for the Chippewas.
Ali Gertiza sends it over the net. Case sets it up. Gertiza will send it back, and Erickson will send it over. King dug out by Raymond. Set up to Erickson from Ammeraal. And King will send that one across and find a hole in that back row. Ali Gertiza, who's done a great job of digging out so many balls this year for Central Michigan, just wasn't ready for that.
On the other end, that one was saved by Simpkins once again. We were talking about her hustle, a great diving dig to keep that one going.
King serves it. Hernandez, a bit too much, but they'll say a touch on that. So it will go Central Michigan's way and keeps it with just 1 point separating the two teams.
Hernandez doing her best to keep this one close at the beginning of the second set, not letting it snowball out of hand.
Olsen back to serve. Just nails it down in front of Gertiza. Julia Marr, the sophomore, coming from the antenna there. And a nice setup, cross court. And what a swing. So back out to a 2-point lead for the Broncos. Ammeraal with a nice stuff of the net. Gertiza tries to keep it up. And they'll get a bit out of rotation there. That point will go to Western. Central Michigan so far tonight swinging just 150 as there's a service error from the Broncos. Mentioned the efficiency from Maggie King in general, but this Broncos team is swinging over 300 from that first set to the start of the second set. Set up from Case. Strong hit there by Marr. On that point, we'll go to Western.
Yeah, they're saying the Central Michigan team got into the net on that one. 6-3 now. The Chippewas can't let this one get too much farther out of hand.
Maidendorf rolling to the pin and will be able to get it past that defense. And more specifically, Simpkins, who has done a great job of giving her teammates a chance to have at least one more shot at scoring some points, and that time a bit too strong for Maidendorf.
That one ties Maidendorf for the team leading kills so far in this one with 4.
Maidendorf will take his seat. Brandon will come back in to serve as Wilcoxon gets it right past Brandon in the back row. And here comes Gertiza and Maidendorf back in.
There's too much power here early from the Broncos. Chippewas are unable to stop it no matter who they put back there.
Set up from Ammeraal to Raymond. Strong on the deflection. The officials will say that one landed out of bounds. So it brings it back within 2 points. And Central Michigan has done a great job of trying to deny some longer runs here. The Broncos to start this second set, but still find themselves behind a couple of points. Case sets up Wilcoxon, who's denied. Ammeraal sets up Hernandez, and it stays in bounds. Back within 1 point. And the freshman, Ammeraal, will go back to serve. But here's a look at that set. And Hernandez just finds that lane across the defense. Wilcoxon, and looks like some defensive crossover there. Erickson and Gertiza came very close. Neither of them could get it.
Just a little miscommunication there. They have to talk and figure out who's going to get that one.
Simpkins with the serve. Hernandez. A very strong swing. The deflection again draws the effort of Simpkins, but it lands out of bounds. Central Michigan trying to keep pace with the Broncos here in the second set.
That is Hernandez's 6th kill of the match. She's only 2 away from 300 on the season now. Watch out for her.
Raymond. Keeps this serve in bounds. Nice stake by Gertiza. Whitfield strong and in bounds. Just snuck it in that back row.
Big play there from Maddie Whitfield off the great dig from Gertiza. Perfectly placed shot right in front of the line.
And when you talk to the Chippewas head coach Mike Golick, he talks about that quite a bit. Not just the blocks and what she is leading the Mid-American Conference by quite a bit this season. And there's another one. But the energy that she supplies this team, whether she gets the kill, gets the block. She's always adding energy to this lineup, and certainly when you're here at home, it adds a little bit more.
It does. Right after she gets that block, you see her turn right towards us and screams, gets the team going, and the fans are now crazy loud here.
Natalia Raymond continuing to serve. Nice dig by Gertiza. And Hernandez will send it. And Central Michigan now with a 2-point lead here in the second set.
What a turn of events in this one. Chippewa is now up 2, like you said.
Raymond continues to serve. Exactly who you want back there if you're Central Michigan. Hernandez. Whitfield with the block. And there they are again. They'll keep it on the Broncos' side. And Maddie Whitfield has everybody in McGurk on their feet. Largest lead of the night for Central Michigan comes here in the second set. 3 points, 11-8, and Whitfield has them out ahead here in Mount Pleasant. Back in Mount Pleasant and looking at what just happened before the break, and really it was Maddie Whitfield taking charge. We've talked so much on the Broncos side for Maggie King, but Maddie Whitfield has been there with the blocks. Just 1 kill to her record, but she has a couple of blocks and a dig in there. She's been everywhere, and especially in the energetic places.
She has led this team back in this comeback effort so far, now up 3, and Maddie Whitfield's been the ringleader.
At this point in the first set, that's where the Broncos kind of started to pull away a little bit, and Central Michigan ride some momentum through the timeouts, and that's exactly how you want to respond if you're Western Michigan. Abby Wilcoxon, with just a bit of a touch, finds a hole in the defense.
Wilcoxon with a great play there, just finesses that one through, puts it in play.
She'll go back behind the line to serve. Raymond there to receive. Ammeraal sets up Erickson. Case sets up King. Gertiza there to keep it alive. Ammeraal just dumps it over. Gertiza with the bump. Hernandez denied, but it falls out of bounds. Last touch by the Broncos. Add to that score for Central Michigan.
A big kill there from Hernandez. Off the defender, a great play. And that's 300 kills on the season for a big play for Hernandez and the Chippewas.
Case setting up King. And what a pinpoint swing for Maggie King there. Just found the corner, went right down the line, and brings it back within 2 points.
The Broncos needed a point there, so they looked towards their senior leader, and King is able to deliver.
12 kills for King, who sends the serve across. Hernandez keeps it in bounds. And it really seems like both teams have been looking for consistent traction here in this second set. 3 is really about the most that Central Michigan's been able to get out ahead.
It is, but this back and forth volleyball is what you love to watch. It's a lot of fun.
Case dumps it over, but Gertiza there. Baden don't deny. Erickson. Too strong. It'll go out of bounds, but everybody on the Central Michigan side is saying there's a touch at the net. So there will be a challenge. The officials will go to the scorer's table and take a second look at this one.
Coach Golick trusts his players. Every player on the Chippewa side after that one said that that was touched. He got up off the bench quickly and delivered the green card.
Looks extremely close to the left hand of Logan Case.
You can see a finger go back just a little bit. I think that's what it looks like.
Looks like the spin on the ball might change a tiny bit. And the thing you have to be worried about here if you're Central Michigan is that the call on the floor went Western's way, so trying to overturn it and get that point back. Now from that view, Looks like it catches the top of that finger of Case.
It does. I think this one's going to go the Chippewas' way. Should be a good challenge, but look at them on the bench having fun once again.
Are you as confident in your forecast for this review as they are confident in playing Ninja over there on the sideline?
I don't think anybody can be that confident as Ellie Metendorf is playing Ninja. She is dominant over there.
So from this view, from behind that Broncos defense, looks like it clearly gets a couple of fingers from Logan Case, but we'll wait for the officials to hear the final word. Again, another big challenge. Both of them have been fairly big spots in both of the first two sets. This one, let Central Michigan take a 4-point lead, one of the larger leads of this second set.
And they just haven't been able to get across that 3-point lead. Like you said, getting to 4 will be huge. They might be able to even start a run.
And here's a look at some of the other matches around the Mid-American Conference. It's coming down. There's 3 matches, including tonight, left for all of these teams before they get to the Mid-American Conference tournament. And you might have been able to hear the applause in the background because that was overturned. The hometown crowd here happy that their Chippewas get that point. 14-11. Cameron Olsen back behind the service line. Okay, with a bit of a deflection, we'll just have to give Central Michigan a free ball. Case sets up her teammate beautifully. Mary Claire Brusek able to just bounce that one off the hands of Erickson and out of the reach of any other Chippewa, brings it back within 2. It looks like the officials double-checking some of the team's rotations coming out of that last challenge. Serve dug out by Gertiza. Erickson catches the defense off guard. An early swing that time from Central Michigan, and Maggie King couldn't quite keep it in front of her. Off the deflection, finds a spot on the floor, and Erickson will serve. Case. Lanton denied at the net. Raymond touched at the top row. Swing from King into the net. 13 kills for Maggie King tonight on 26 total attempts. Make that 27 after the last one, and just the 3rd attack error for her tonight, even with the volume of swing she's been putting up. Ammeraal tried to make a quick move and catch the defense off guard, but that'll catch the top of the net.
Everything is just back and forth here. The kills, the errors, everything, but it's making for an exciting matchup as this one just keeps getting closer.
4-point deficit for the Broncos as they send their setter, Logan Case, back behind the line. Ammeraal sets up Maidendorf. Olsen there to keep it alive. Here's Raymond. Still up in the air. And the deflection off that front row of Central Michigan. Be another point for the Broncos. Case, a junior out of Mainville, Ohio. Stands at 5'8". Maidendorf. Nice dig by Simpkins. And Raymond. Off the front row. She'll go back at it again and deny. This Broncos defense has been phenomenal. Abby Wilcoxon that time coming up with the block.
Maybe just going to the well too much on that one, going to the same spot. Easily predictable. Western got up and blocked that one easily.
There's a dunk from Ammeraal. Dig by Olsen, and she goes right back to it. We've seen her be fairly aggressive throughout this match so far tonight. And even after putting the last one into the net when she tried, goes right back to it and is able to catch that defense on their heels.
Yeah, just a perfectly placed surprise for Ammeraal there. A great dump gets the point.
A sophomore, Kayla Brandon, back in to serve. Marr bounces it off the front row, sends it out of bounds. Easy point for Western. And would you look at that? It's back to a 2-point differential.
It's been a set of runs so far. A little bit of back and forth action, but each team being able to put together multiple points in a row.
Ammeraal, strong swing, and again, that time catches her counterpart. The center for the Broncos, and Logan Case off guard. Can't keep it up for her teammates. Back to a 3-point lead for the Chippewas, and Ammeraal will go back to serve. Case sets up King. And it'll sneak inbounds for the Broncos. Once again, just like we've seen pretty much this entire second set, Central Michigan gets a point, but the Broncos come right back. No team on any large runs in this second set. Ammeraal sets up Hernandez, and the touch by Case through her teammate Simpkins off guard.
Nobody expecting Hernandez to take a little bit off that one. Places it perfectly. Big point for the Chippewas.
Raymond ranks 4th in the Mid-American Conference with 32 aces this season. She comes up with a dig. The block by Hernandez. Simpkins keeps it alive. And King will find the back row. Maddie Whitfield and Mallory Hernandez were over trying to cover the right side of the net, and it looks like Maddie Whitfield's hurting just a little bit over on that Central Michigan sideline. Looks like she's getting some attention from the training staff of Central Michigan. And there will be a timeout called on the floor with just 2 points separating these two teams.
It's been an exciting match. Everything back and forth so far in this one. 19-17 in set 2. Chippewas looking to tie up the set count.
Well, and we've talked about the Mid-American Conference all night long because we're getting close to tournament time. And here's how the standings look right now. And this is exactly why this match here tonight is so big, and also tomorrow's between Western and Central again. But Central Michigan just technically one win ahead of Western Michigan, who's tied for that last spot behind Northern Illinois. And this is very important to remember because all three of these teams are relevant in this scenario. So Central Michigan, they'll finish up here at home. They'll play Eastern, and that'll be the end of their season. Well, Western Michigan, they need to win as many as they can because they are looking to take one here in Mount Pleasant. But then after they're done in Mount Pleasant against their rivals in the Chippewas, they go and they play the Northern Illinois Huskies, who sit right there with them at 8-7.
Going to be an exciting end to the regular season for all these teams.
And what a year it's been so far for the Western Michigan Broncos, who come into tonight 16-11, 8-7 in the Mid-American Conference, as you just saw the standings. Colleen Munson, the head coach for the Broncos, working hard on the sideline, and talked about how she picked up her 400th career win, most of those with the Broncos. But really, you look at those wins and you look at the overall success of this Western Michigan program. The Broncos had finished just third or better in the MAC West just 3 times since 1990 before Coach Munson took over in 2005. As you hear the applause and you see Maddie Whitfield come back out onto the court. It looks like she has that right pinky finger wrapped up and is ready to go. 19-17. Here's a serve from Wilcoxon. And Raymond, a smart move to let it go. It flies out of bounds, and Central Michigan gains a 3-point lead.
Great idea there. Central Michigan has to take the points any way they can get them now. Big service error, halting whatever momentum Western Michigan had.
Gertiza back to serve. King set up and out of the reach of Raymond. And just like you said before we went to that timeout, Matt, everything's been back and forth. No one can really gain some footing and put together a good run, which is important when you're coming down to it. Right around 20 points. It's a 2-point lead for the Chippewas, 20-18. Set up, Baydendorf, bit behind that one, but able to make contact. And a strong swing. Right from the antenna, it's Julia Marr, the 6'2" outside hitter. Gets it right past Hernandez and Baydendorf. King with the serve. Ammeraal sets up Hernandez, and she nails it down. Right in front of King in the back row, and maintaining that 2 to 3 point lead. But Mallory Hernandez, who's been the leader in kills all season for Central Michigan, now enters double digits for the night here in the second set. 11 total kills on 17 attempts. That'll be deflected off the top row. Point will go to the Broncos since that's 21-20 now.
Things are getting tight here down the final stretch of this second set. Going to be an exciting finish, that's for sure.
Ammeraal sets up Erickson as Case gives it back to Marr. Case to Marr again, and it works the second time through. Attacked right at Gertiza in the back row. And look, another great setup. Talk about this tempo. All these sets are within tempo of this offense. They've been quick. They've been in the correct position, and Broncos continue to ride the wave. Julia Marr came up with a couple of kills, gave them some momentum, and there's an ace from Mary Claire Brusek. And all of a sudden, it's a 1-point Broncos lead, 22-21 here in the second set.
Western Michigan going on a little run of their own to take the lead now. It's been an exciting finish. They've gone towards King. They've gone towards Marr. Case is making it unpredictable who she's going to. She's been really good setting the ball and getting assists.
Well, there's the head coach, Mike Golick, trying to give his team a bit of a pep talk. Has talked a lot this season about enjoying these games because they can teach you a lot. They can give you a lot of experience, and fighting through some adversity, especially coming down to this part of the season, is extremely important. But on the other side of that, it's tough to cover when a team like Western Michigan is playing the way they are. And in almost all of the clips that you're going to see, a ton of assists from Logan Case, who has dished out 28 assists so far tonight. And you can see that whole team rallying around each other. So 22-21, both teams get back out onto the court. And just before the timeout, Mary Claire Brusek had the service ace to put them up by 1. And she will stay back behind that service line. Ammeraal sets up Erickson. Case to Marr, and again, it works. We saw Maggie King for most of the beginning of this night, but all of a sudden, Julia Marr has just continued to produce.
Yeah, her 10th kill of the match has been a big reason in this comeback in the second set.
Baydendorf denied, and Gertiza will keep it up with her foot. The Broncos don't care, though. They put that away quickly with a kill of their own.
And that one was Case getting up to get that one. Short Gale in the middle gets up way above the net. Look at those hops.
Case, 5'8", and that center role for this Broncos team has been just about everywhere. Erickson sends it over. Case keeps it alive. Ammeraal sends it too hard, out of bounds. The point will go to Western Michigan. And they will take set number 2. They take the first 2 sets here in Mount Pleasant and will come back on the other side of this break trying to take their third right here at McGurk Arena.
I didn't know that I was even close to this record until last year. People had like talked about it, like, oh, you have this minute. No, just one more. And then it happened, and it was just a really cool moment.
Up the middle, Whitfield blocks it down.
Maddie Whitfield, a senior middle blocker from Saline, Michigan, has recently broken numerous CMU records, including most solo blocks since 2000. After a season-ending injury, Whitfield is truly bringing a new meaning to comeback season.
You just get to see the game differently, so I learned a lot. I was able to see things that like they do wrong that like I also would do wrong. Every time I was out, I was like, dang, I really wish I could be out there with the team. So just pushes me to work hard every day and not take it for granted.
During Whitfield's time off, she had the opportunity to acknowledge the importance of a positive mindset both on and off of the court.
It's a lot easier to play in like positive environment and just knowing that everyone has the best interest in like what you do. It really makes us stronger together on the court and off the court. They feed off my energy, so it encourages them to work harder and just be better athletes overall. And we're all really close and have a lot of trust in each other, so it's easy to be out on the court when you have such a big support system.
Although Whitfield has formed significant bonds with her teammates, nothing is more important than the love and support that she receives from family.
I try to make them proud every time, and I just have such a big support system, so it's hard to not try my best every time I do something because I want to make them proud.
Christiana Rosa, ESPN.
Back in Mount Pleasant for a packed house here in McGurk Arena. It's been a couple of very tough sets for the Central Michigan Chippewas. Western Michigan, their in-state rivals, the Broncos, have come in and taken the first two sets here in McGurk tonight. And, well, it's really just been a couple of leaders. You can see one there with Maggie King, who has 16 kills, swinging .406 in the hitting percentage department. Also, have to look at Julia Marr, who's also tacked on another 10 kills for the Broncos, Matt.
Especially in the end of that second set, Marr was taking off, and she was getting all the kills. And let's talk about Case just setting them up beautifully. That's the reason why they took that second set in the big comeback. They were down 4 a couple times in that one.
Well, through two sets, like you said, Matt, and 29 assists for Logan Case, the 2021 Max Setter of the Year, and you can see why she won that award. And she continues to really tear up the Mid-American Conference in terms of this production and the assist department. Had her most recent Max Setter of the Week award in the West Division back on Halloween. She ended up winning that same award 5 times during the 2021 season and got the Max Center of the Year award on top of it. Continues to help out her teammates as Western Michigan will come out here in this third set with a chance to put things away. Andalyn Simpkins back behind the service line. We're back underway here in Mount Pleasant. Ammeraal sets up Hernandez, who just put some finesse on the ball. Finds its way away from that Broncos defense, and it's a 1-point lead for the Chippewas.
The poise from Hernandez to stay with that one, and just a little tap where there was nobody standing. A beautifully placed ball.
Natalia Raymond back behind the service line. Came to receive. Case sets up Wilcoxon, and a nice dig by Gertiza. Ammeraal tries to set up one of her teammates, but that will land out of bounds, and we're back even. Abby Wilcoxon has a block tonight. 6 kills on 16 total attempts and serves one there to the Chippewas. Hernandez off the front row. Case will set up a teammate. Good look, but too strong on that swing from Brusek. Central Michigan takes the lead, gets the serve back, and they'll send the sophomore from Greenwood, Missouri, Ali Gertiza, behind the line. Gertiza with 13 digs so far through the first 2 sets tonight. Ammeraal with the dig. Up from Gertiza, Erickson sends it across. And King splits that back row right between Gertiza and Raymond. And that is where she's really lit tonight. Set a lot off the front row, but once she gets it past, it has found its way straight in the middle of that defense. And there's an ace. Maggie King from behind the service line getting it done. Going yet one of Central Michigan's best defenders in Gertiza, too.
Yeah, that one a really good floating serve. You see that knuckling over the net, and that sinks at the last second. It's very well done by King.
Ammeraal sets up Hernandez. King keeps it in front. She'll just have to send it back to the Chippewas. Ammeraal sets up Hernandez. Keeps it in bounds. And it's tied at 3. So we saw Western Michigan take charge in the first set. Second set, it was Central Michigan who came out a little bit hotter, but Western Michigan able to deal with it, take control late, have a big swing there at the end, and they find themselves up 2 sets. Erickson off the front row. Case sets up Marr, and there's a block. Maidendorf and Ammeraal right there causing the pressure.
Also just caused an eruption here in Mount Pleasant.
Got a lot of support here tonight. A lot of towels being waved around, and Cameron Olson standing closest to that student section here in McGurk, getting ready to serve as Central Michigan has a 1-point lead here in this third set. Set up to Marr, and again blocks. Ellie Maidendorf has made a difference here in the beginning of this third set. That's back-to-back plays that she's been involved in with a block.
Saw Maidendorf a couple times in the first set. Now 2 straight blocks in the second. Has 4 in this one now.
Central Michigan able to set up here, and it's Maidendorf. The Chippewas continue to feed the hot hand, and it's a 3-point lead.
She is going off in this third set right now. The last 3 points for the Chippewas go through Ellie Maidendorf.
Case sets up Marr. Olsen gets a piece of it as Raymond dives beneath her. That will land out of bounds for the Broncos' point. Brings it back within 2. Brusek with the serve. Here's Erickson. Off the front row, off the back row, and to the seats.
Anna Erickson showcasing some power on that one. Hit that one almost out of the gym.
Showing her power on that play. Case setting up her teammates. We'll do it again as Marr will send it back to the Chippewas. Ammeraal, and that's a great play by Simpkins for the Broncos. Somehow that goes back to Central Michigan's side. Raymond again with a strong swing. Marr denied. Claire Ammeraal got most of that one, and the freshman has McGurk going.
And it feels like the Chippewas have all the momentum right now, needing to win this set to stay in this one. And they are building a wall at the net.
Case setting up King. Puts too much on it. Out of bounds, no touch of the nets, but I think that's in question for the head coach for the Broncos, Colleen Munson, who immediately grabbed that challenge card. And they will take another look at this play. Now on the floor, originally called the Central Michigan point. As it is a 9-4 lead for the Chippewas right now. And they're going to be looking to see if there was contact at the nets. Now we've seen some overturn, we've seen some stay tonight. At first glance from that net cam, doesn't look like the ball changes too much direction. Let's have to see if those fingers moved either.
Yeah, this one's going to be a little bit tougher to see, a little bit farther away from the camera. But I think the call on the court is huge here since it's going for the Chippewas. I don't know if there's going to be enough to overturn it.
See, a tough look there because it goes right it looks like over or in between those hands from that angle, but can't see if, there's much movement. This is going to be a really close and also, I think, a pretty crucial call in this match.
Let's see if there's a change in the direction of the spin on this ball. Possibly that could be something that tells us.
If so, it looks like it's very slight.
Very slight if there is.
The officials still at the scorer's table taking a look. Both teams patiently awaiting this call. So the call on the court will stand. They confirm it. No touch of the net. Central Michigan will take the ball back. Just a bit too much power on that swing from Maggie King. Landed out of bounds in Central Michigan. Now up 5 here in this third set. Serve from Erickson. Case bumps up to King. Off the hands of Gertiza. And just like that, the Broncos get the ball back.
See where King came from to kill that one past the 10-foot line. A laser of a shot. Great play from Maggie King.
And both sides will tell you just how impactful she is on the floor. Both the duo of King and Case. It's the setup from Ammeraal. Now it's Case with the setup. Dug out. Raymond just pushes it off the front row. The deflection goes Central Michigan's way. 5-point lead here in the third set. Backs are against the wall after losing the first 2 sets to Western here in Mount Pleasant tonight. Kayla Brandon back into serve. Wilcoxon pushes it over, and Raymond put a bit too much juice into that one. Or they will say there's a touch at the net. And so just like that, we'll go right back to the challenge table. So it looks like they're going to take another look and see if there was a touch at the net. Raymond put a lot into this one. And that view right there doesn't look so clear.
It doesn't. Not really a tell on that one. As the Chippewa fans are still going crazy here during the breaks and everything.
Everybody's having a good time in McGurk. Broncos have taken the first 2 sets. Set 2 is extremely entertaining and got everybody on their feet, but the one who's been on their feet most of the time over the last couple of points has been the head coach, Colin Munson. Second time in just a handful of points, pulling out the challenge cards. We're taking a look at this, trying to see if there's a touch at the net. Call on the floor was that there was a touch. They did award Central Michigan the point, so the Broncos may be hoping to gain a point back here.
And they can zoom in much farther on their monitor, and they'll get a really good look at it. But right now, I'm thinking it stays with the call on the floor, maybe. There's nothing there to tell.
Everyone's got their towels. Everybody's got the white on here in Mount Pleasant tonight. And Matt, I don't know about you, but from this view, doesn't look like there's any contact.
It does not. Looks like it goes right through the hands of Glanton and Wilcoxon.
Looks like it got away from Wilcoxon. I think the real question is, on that right hand of Amanda Glanton, does it touch it all? Again, call on the floor was a point for Central Michigan that there was a touch at the net.
This is a crucial point in this one, though. A point for Western could halt all of Central Michigan's momentum and cut this to a 10-6 lead instead of a 6-point lead.
Well, a lot of the momentum that they've gained here tonight, because it's been extremely close. Western Michigan has been able to take the first two sets, but really here it's been Central Michigan who came out of the gate quick, and now we're waiting to see which way this challenge is going to go.
Yeah, it's exactly what Central needed to do in this one, was to come out hot and get out to a big lead in this third set. But this challenge, I just don't know.
So we're getting the official call on the floor here, and they will reverse the call. So that point will be flipped to Western Michigan. And they bring it just a point closer. 10-6 now, just a 4-point lead for Central Michigan, who has their backs against the wall. Thanks for sticking with us through that review. Riley Edwards, Matt Jacobs, Cristiano Rosa on the sideline tonight, all here in McGurk. Set up to Raymond. Didn't get the touch of the net that time, but make sure there's no doubt. Keeps it inbounds and gets 1 point back for Central Michigan.
A powerful shot. Looks like it might have made it in, but we're getting another challenge, it appears, Riley.
This has got to be 3 challenges in, maybe about the last 5 points put up on the board. But we're going to go ahead and see if this one stays in bounds. Tough to see from that camera angle. As head coach Mike Golick, I'm sure just like everybody else here in McGurk tonight, awaiting yet another challenge. And again, a big one with it being just a 5-point Central Michigan lead. What can the Broncos do to continue to try to stop this momentum?
Well, if they win this challenge, it's down to 3, and they have the momentum right now with 2 straight. Let's take a look at it. That looks pretty close to the line. On the outer part of the line, if it does hit the line at all, Riley.
Looks like it maybe makes some contact, but obviously on the far side of the court right there. And once again, another challenge where the call on the floor was originally Central Michigan point. Coach Munson for the Broncos quickly going to the challenge card again. You have to respect it because she's been really on top of these challenges, and we're hoping to be on top of it too. Riley Edwards with my partner Matt Jacobs here inside McGurk Arena. And really, Matt, we're waiting for another answer here, but it's really been choppy here in this third set. You had a convincing first set win from Western, a fight in the second set that still went to the Broncos, and a quick start, but now some choppy play.
It has been some choppy play, but it's building suspense in this arena. What better way to build suspense than a pause? Just a silent pause in this, but the fans are still going crazy, waiting for this call as well. It could go either way, Riley. This whole match, if CMU can pull out this third set, watch out, because I've seen them make a comeback before, and they can do it again.
And it looks like we've got a call on the floor. Or did we just get juked out?
And we have a game within the game right now. Teams are having a worm-off, I'm going to call it.
A worm-off?
A worm-off.
Well, they put an end to that, and they'll see that they get the point here. Another long review process. Third straight review by Western Michigan, and it will go to Central this time.
Crucial point there for the Chippewas. Keeps it at a 5-point lead now.
Well, I'm sure Natalia Raymond taking a sigh of relief there. She's been caught up in the last 2 challenges that Coach Munson has brought up for the Broncos, and that time comes through. Set up from Case, and King can't keep that on the right side of the antenna. It's out of bounds, and that point will go to Central.
King just jumps up a little bit too early on that one. Had to reach for it and hit the antenna, like you said.
Making a 6-point lead for the Chippewas. King, stronger that time, and strong enough to get the point off the deflection.
Yeah, that deflection going all the way across the court and out of bounds. Just power from King on that one.
Simpkins, the 5'10" junior, back to serve. Ammeraal able to set up Hernandez, who gets it past Case.
A good bumping pass there from Ammeraal. Able to just put it straight up and set it up beautifully for Hernandez.
Well, Central Michigan taking advantage of attack errors here in this third set from the Broncos. Western Michigan, as a team right now, actually swinging negative as they're able to keep this one alive. The pancake and the help, and the Broncos are relentless. They'll keep the pressure on you and come through on the offensive side.
A great play there from the Chippewas. See them diving for the ball, keeping that one in. But the Broncos just hit it right back onto the Chippewa side. Not much they could do.
Well, that'll improve their hitting percentage a bit, but for the Broncos, it's negative 105 right now as the Chippewas find the floor again. And Central Michigan much more efficient, hitting 375 so far in this third set. 7 kills for just 1 attack error. 5 kills for Western in this third set, but 6 attack errors to go along with it. 6-point lead for the Chippewas. Case sets up King. Case dumps it off, and Ammeral's there. And the block at the net. Trying everything to keep it alive, but there's Hernandez. Hernandez, Maidendorf, and Erickson have all gone around in that front row, and they've all been able to come up with some blocks, and has Central Michigan ahead by 7 points right here in McGurk.
At the Home Depot, we have the tools to make holiday gift-giving magic for all those project-doing, technology-loving, tool-organizing, woodshop-working people in your life. Get Black Friday savings all through November at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
You think about the future? We do. Every day, the Burrish Group at UBS helps people plan for their financial future through 3 key strategies: liquidity, longevity, and legacy. You have the cash flow for short-term expenses, a plan for long-term needs, and a strategy for needs that go beyond your own. You don't have to have all the answers. We have the right questions. Call us today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to McGurk Arena. Once again, I'm Christiana Rosa, your sideline reporter for today's match. One thing that has been carrying the Chippewas through this set is definitely the energy, and above all, our player that offers the most energy is Maddie Whitfield. She is a 6'3" middle blocker from St. Louis, Michigan, and she has taken her 5th year with the Chippewas. She is currently leading the MAC in blocks, and she has set 2 block-related records for Central Michigan this year. The first one being against Miami on October 23rd, setting the career solo block record since 2000 with 78 solo blocks. She set another record on October 29th, playing Buffalo with the most blocks in a 5-set match with 12 blocks. Let's see if she can carry the energy through the team. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Christiana. As Maddie Whitfield, you can see a bit of tape on her fingers on the sideline, but she is still trying to add some energy to this team. Although out of this timeout here, Western Michigan able to capture a point right there. Maggie King with a nice swing right over that front row. Now King back to serve for Western Michigan, who's trailing by 6 points.
A big serve there from King. Gets another ace right there.
5-point lead for the Chippewas. And that time just gets back away from King, out of bounds. Central Michigan able to keep it up. So Cameron Olsen will drop back to serve.
Hernandez, another big kill in that one. She's hitting over 500 right now.
Efficiency has certainly helped out this Central Michigan offense, and a very decisive swing there. Logan Case right in the middle of everything for the Broncos. Doesn't matter whether it's the offense, the defense, the high fives, she's always right there. Swing at the net, blocked, and just rolls its way across. And Maidendorf continuing to come through on the offensive side. Kill number 6 for Ellie Maidendorf tonight. Marr pushes it over. They'll blow the whistle and say that Marr came across that time. And the point will go to the Chippewas. So a 7-point lead. Getting deeper into this third set. Backs against the wall in a set map that they absolutely need to win. King denied. Another denial at the nets. Anybody who tried to attack that front row was just getting it right back.
Ellie Maidendorf was not letting that ball get past her at all. 2 big blocks, but one of them getting to the floor racks up another one.
Well, Ellie Maidendorf, 6'1", the junior out of Alto, Michigan, has continued to thrive right in the middle of that front row. And even that time had a younger player, and Amanda Glanton, the freshman for the Broncos, 6'3", big swing, but still, like you said, was not letting it past her.
Her first solo block on this one. She's been a part of 7 of them. However, though, she has been dominant in this match.
Well, for Central Michigan, their blocking at the net has been definitely one of their strongest parts of this team this season. Coming into tonight, 2.44 blocks per set. That's good enough for first in the Mid-American Conference. And with Whitfield not being on the floor as often here towards this third set, Maidendorf, Iverson-Ammeraal, anybody else, including Hernandez in that front row, has continued to make a difference.
It's been a team effort on defense, like you said, and it's made the biggest difference here in the third set. Even if they're not blocking it, they're changing shots and forcing errors.
Well, Erickson will step behind the service line with an 8-point lead. And there's just a service error from Erickson. Too far. Nice recognition by the defense for the Broncos to let it go. They bring themselves within 7.
Just a serving error you can't have there when you have all the momentum. That can change it on a dime.
Big swing from Raymond. And it stays in bounds past the diving Simpkins, which has not been easy to miss tonight. Strong swing. Just found a lane. Back to an 8-point lead for the Chippewas. Brandon back in. And the serve. Set up from Case, and Wilcoxon gets it dug out. To King over the middle and sneaks it in bounds. Maggie King has been pinpoint no matter where she's attacking the ball from, which is what makes her such a valuable player. Can really swing like that from all 6 spots on the floor.
Behind the 10-foot line on that one, hitting it all the way in front of the baseline. A big point. Perfectly placed shot once again.
Ammeraal to Raymond. Central Michigan will have to scramble here. And they will call a double there on Natalia Raymond. The Broncos continue to quietly chip away here towards the end of this third set. Lead has been as large as 8. Now it's down to 6. King. And a very rare shot from Maggie King that doesn't find its way in bounds. Considering the amount of total attacks she's had tonight, Matt, it's amazing that that right there is just the 6th error of the night on 45 total attempts. And just a bit of a touch from Wilcoxon from the antenna. And again, there's just been some sneaky points here from Western Michigan, who has really continued to stay in a group offensively.
Just a little tap there. beautifully placed in front of the diving Curtiza. Nothing they could have done to stop that.
Simpkins to serve. And Hernandez tries to finish the assist from Ammeraal, but can't keep it in bounds.
And this is what they did in the second set as well. Central Michigan got to that 20-point mark. Then Western just took over. It's looking like it might happen again, but the Chippewas have to stop it right now.
Case able to keep it in the air for King. Now Ammeraal sets up Hernandez, and she's denied in the front row. Maggie King there, along with Madison Mers. Great defense by the Broncos.
Maggie King's 22nd kill of the match, having a big day.
And it brings them within 4 points. Ammeraal setting up Whitfield, who enters back into this match. Block. And it just a bit too powerful. I have to give credit to the Broncos for putting the power into these swings, but that deflected all the way out of bounds. And all of a sudden, Matt, there's just 3 points separating these two teams.
The Broncos showing some resiliency. Like I said just a minute ago, they did it in the second half. Now they're doing it once again in this third.
21-18 this score with the Central Michigan timeout. And after a couple of sets and into this third one, these are the stats coming out. The kills obviously going in Western Michigan's favor, but the blocks, this is what Central Michigan does well. They got out-blocked in their last match against NIU. Definitely made a difference, lost all 3 sets. But here tonight, it's been very tough to try to contain this offense.
It has been. That 19 blocks number is a big number, but it still doesn't seem like it's enough when Maggie King's just been going off. She's just been too good on the offensive end for Western Michigan.
Well, in terms of all 3 sets so far tonight, the first set, really, you can chalk it down to Western. I mean, pretty much everywhere across the scoreboard in the stats tonight. In that first set, outplayed Central Michigan. Second set, very close, and Western was able to close out before Central could. And here in this third set, well, there's still a lot to be figured out. Here's the serve from Simpkins. Set up from Ammeraal, and Hernandez able to nail it down.
Big kill there from Mallory Hernandez. Chippewas needed some momentum to keep going in this one. And they get it from their transfer senior.
And now Natalia Raymond behind the service line. Denial at the net by Whitfield. Curtiza. And Ammeraal sets up Erickson. Wilcoxon keeps it up. Erickson tries again, and immediately that entire Broncos defense said, let it go.
Great idea there. That one was pretty close to getting in there from Erickson, but just a bit too far.
Well, now it's a 3-point differential. Hernandez, strong swing. Gets it out of the far reach. Lavandel and Simpkins in the back row. And it's back to a 4-point lead. Curtiza behind the line. Here's the serve. Case sets up King. And they will say a touch at the net. So again, just like we've seen pretty much all night so far, Broncos not going away easily and grinding it out even with both teams now over 20 points. Hernandez, nice dig. King able to keep it alive, and Simpkins sends it back to the Chippewas. Set up for Maidendorf. And that's how you get the home crowd going. Ellie Maidendorf has come through in some very big moments for the Chippewas tonight. And that one gives them a 4-point lead and sets them up here with a set point. Olsen with the serve. Case, a beautiful setup to the outside where she found Madison Mers to keep the Broncos in this. 24-21. Swing from the antenna, stays in bounds. Ammeraal sets up Erickson. Case to Julia Marr, denied to the net. It's a fight for this point right here. And Erickson will send it off of King and end the third set. The Chippewas start strong and finish strong. They grind out the third set, and Western Michigan leads 2-1 as we go to the fourth.
What tools do you need to make your holiday magic? Well, trees for gathering gifts, lights for lighting up smiles. Oh, and don't forget a ladder. Get Black Friday savings all through November at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Few conversations are as important as planning for a future without you or your spouse. Who will make the important decisions in the case of a death or illness? Who will care for your loved ones? If you and your partner don't make decisions now, they can be made without you later. Our team is here to help you and your spouse plan for today, tomorrow, and generations to come. Call the Burrish Group today.
Back in Mount Pleasant after an exciting third set. Western Michigan has a 2-1 lead, and now we'll check in with Christiana Rosa on the sideline.
Fans, as I'm sure you all can tell, neither team here is going to go down without a fight. During the huddles, I was able to listen in on the Broncos, and head coach Colleen Munson was telling her players to serve aggressively, fight for those points. Two players that capitalized on that are outside hitter Maggie King and center Logan Case. They have been a dynamic duo for the Broncos, and the Chippewas have been fighting against that. Munson has also told the players to just play the game and trust the system. Let's see how they do as they fight for the next set.
Thank you very much, Christiana. And they have been a dynamic duo in Kalamazoo for a couple of years now. Both were first team All-MAC. Both earned plenty of awards this season and the season before. And they've also garnered quite a few wins for Western Michigan. But here tonight is something that they're very focused on. Central Michigan just ahead of them in the Mid-American Conference standings as we approach the Mid-American Conference tournament with, including this match here tonight, just 3 matches left in this regular season. So a lot to be figured out. And on top of that, it's a rivalry, Matt. I mean, there's a lot going on in McGirt tonight.
It is. The fans are letting Western Michigan have it at points, but Western's giving it right back on the court. 2-1 now. Central Michigan's not going away easily, Riley.
Well, even with the Central Michigan win in set 3, 25-21, Broncos definitely showed they're not going away. Raymond keeps it up, and she'll get a shot herself. Hernandez denied, and they'll send it over. Western Michigan able to set up the tempo and the denial. Maddie Whitfield, again, getting everybody on their feet. Logan Case has done a good job of spreading the ball around everywhere, and that time Whitfield was right on top of it. Ammeraal with the serve. Case with the set, and Wilcoxon will send it out, but they'll award this point to Western Michigan. But not everybody was in the correct positions there for the Chippewas. In the second set, or this, I should say fourth set, starts at a 1-1 tie. Raymond denied. Ammeraal sets up Hernandez, and a nice dig by Wilcoxon. Urtiza bumps it forward to Hernandez. And she finds the floor. Central Michigan out to another lead here in this fourth set.
A really good bumping pass from Urtiza there, setting up Hernandez for her 19th kill of this match.
And still the only Chippewa in double-digit kills so far tonight. 19 kills and 34 total attacks as Raymond sends that into the net. And when you talk about trying to get this offense of the Broncos out of their tempo, something that we talked to head coach Mike Golick about is trying to get teams out of rotation with these serves. And Natalia Raymond, one of the best servers on this Central Michigan team, just hasn't been able to stay back there consistently. King. Dug out by Gertiza. Ammeraal keeps it in, and Erickson will have to send it over. Case. Set up Mers, but denied, and Hernandez will get the point.
Perfectly placed there from Hernandez, right in the corner. You can't move it an inch either way, and that goes out. She keeps that one in. Just perfectly placed ball for her 20th kill.
Maddie Whitfield will get another breather here in this fourth set, which means that Ellie Maidendorf will come back in for the Chippewas. The next closest Chippewa to double-digit kills. Maidendorf has 7. Ammeraal setting up Erickson, and that finds room in the back row. Anna Erickson logs kill number 7 of the night.
And you can feel the momentum just getting even further in the Chippewas' direction.
Strong swing and right in front of Raymond. Good serve by Gertiza, but an even better setup from that Broncos offense. Strong swing, and Julia Marr able to come through again. For the Broncos, also in double-digit kills. You have Maggie King with 23 and Julia Marr with 12 now. Another point goes to the Broncos. Evens it up here in set number 4 with 4 apiece. Off the top of the tape. Nice dig by Gertiza. Hernandez sends it over. Marr. Raymond has it in the back row. Erickson has to adjust and bump it over. Hernandez off the front row.
We've talked a lot about Maggie King tonight, but Mallory Hernandez has been just as impressive leading this Chippewas attack.
Well, those two names you mentioned, the only 2 players with 20 or more kills. And also, we did just talk about the serving game for Central Michigan, and Cameron Olsen comes through with an ace.
Perfectly placed serve there with topspin on it. It sunk down and landed right in the middle of the Broncos defense.
Just the second ace so far tonight for the Chippewas. First for Cameron Olsen. On Erickson, dug out by Simpkins. Nice dig by Olsen. Gertiza bumps it to Erickson. Case sets it all the way across. And it's sent back out of bounds by Marr. Came in from the antenna, couldn't keep it in bounds, and Central Michigan back out to a 3-point lead.
Good idea by Erickson to let that one go. Pretty much had to do the move from the matrix to get out of the way of that one. But she got out of the way and it went out.
Olsen there to receive. Ammeraal pulls a quick one. Right over the head of Boyle. Stayed in bounds. And there's a timeout called by Western Michigan. What an energetic start to this fourth set. 4-point lead, 8-4. The lead for the Chippewas right here on ESPN. Well, Western Michigan took the first 2 sets tonight, but it wouldn't be possible for the Chippewas to be in this fourth set right now if it wasn't for who you see on your screen. And Mallory Hernandez has 21 kills on 38 total attempts. That means she's swinging 421 tonight, and has just been a force on offense for Central Michigan.
She has been. Whenever Central Michigan's needed a big point, they've gone towards Hernandez, and she has been delivering big time.
It's exactly what they've needed to get some energy up and going. And out of the Western Michigan timeout, there's an attack error, and Central Michigan will gladly take that one. Cameron Olsen. Block at the net, but just in front of Anna Erickson, and the Broncos has to feel good to get that point. After a small Central Michigan run, you take the timeout, give up the first point, but come through and get that one with a good swing. So a 4-point lead for the Chippewas here in set number 4. Olsen receiving the serve. Here's Maidendorf. Great dig by Simpkins. Natalia Raymond, Cameron Olsen getting crossed up in that back row for Central Michigan. Bit of a defensive lapse there. The Broncos take advantage.
Yeah, we've seen some lapses in communication on that back end of the defense a couple of times in this match already. Something they'll need to change if they want to win this match.
And Iverson-Ammeraal will try to just dump it over. Broncos pick it up. Ammeraal setting up Erickson. Denied. Keeps it in the air. And that point will be awarded to Western Michigan. They'll say there was a double on Central's side. And all of a sudden, Broncos, just like they've done all night, haven't let this get too far out ahead of them. And they brought it back to a 2-point lead for Central.
No, they stay in it no matter what. They will not go away easily.
And there's a service error for the Broncos. And Logan Case back there who couldn't get it over the net. Mentioned earlier that there's 2 aces tonight for the Chippewas, and one of them came from Anna Erickson, who sends it over. Erickson keeps it alive. Case sets up a teammate who was looking for Calcagno at the antenna on the outside. It's 11-7 now, with Central still ahead. Off the hands of Ali Gertiza, quickly flies out of bounds. Point for Western. Another
Central
nice setup.
Michigan needs to take advantage of the errors. They can't string together any points right now. It's still going back and forth as the Broncos just won't go away.
Boyer to serve. Raymond tries to push it across. Ammeraal sets up Raymond again. Right at King. Curtizo with the dig. Raymond strong off the back row. Simpkins dives for it. Can't get it. I mean, what should you expect other than that type of effort from Simpkins? She's been roaming all over the place. But that's all thanks to a very strong shot right there from Natalia Raymond.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard me gasp on that one. I thought she was going right into the bleachers head first. Very close play, but got to applaud the hustle.
And there's a service here for the Chippewas. Kayla Brandon into the net. She certainly has put any danger in her rearview mirror. I think it looks like her mindset out there is, I'm going to get to this ball. We'll deal with the rest later.
Puts her body on the line, it seems like every play.
Now Simpkins back to serve. Ammeraal setting up Whitfield. And an instant impact. Maddie Whitfield back in the front row, comes through with the kill. Great setup by her teammate Ammeraal. That's a 4-point Chippewas lead. The freshman, Ammeraal back to serve. And again into the net. That's back-to-back service errors for Central Michigan.
Something they just cannot do right now. They need to get out and extend that lead past 3. Because you know the Broncos are not going to go down easily at the end of this set if they're down.
Erickson. Now it's King off the front row, but Gertiza there to handle it. Hernandez. Wilcoxon with the dig. Case just sends it over. Ammeraal back to Whitfield off the front row and out of bounds. 14-10. Chippewas continue to grind away here in set number 4.
Just Whitfield's 3rd kill of the match, but the emotional leadership she shows is a game changer for this team when she's on the floor.
Raymond with the serve. And Case is able to send this one back across, nearly an ace. Scramble here, and they will give this point to Western. Looks like somebody might have stepped over the line there for the Chippewas.
Yeah, it looked like Whitfield might have made a little contact at the bottom of the net there and stepped just a bit too far.
Brings it back within 3. King sends the serve. Curtiza, a great effort to keep it up. Case. Here's Hernandez. And King comes in from the middle and nails it down. So back within 2 points, and what a setup from Logan Case. All of a sudden, Maggie King comes running up the middle, and you have your perfect target. Ammeraal reached too far on that, and that will give a point to Western. It's 14-13 now, and with 1 point separating the two teams, it'll be a timeout called by the head coach of the Chippewas, Mike Golick. Well, ever since Western Michigan took that timeout, they've really been able to slow down the momentum of Central. They've kind of zoned in on Mallory Hernandez, who hasn't been able to produce as much as we've seen through the first 3 sets of the night.
No, and one thing I think Central Michigan can do to fight that is move Mallory Hernandez around on the floor while the play is going on. Get her in a different position, maybe in the middle, because she's been at the antennas the whole time, making a little predictable on offense. And she's been the best attacker, so they've just been mirroring her on defense.
Well, and the outside hitter, a senior out of Fishers, Indiana, Mallory Hernandez, who transferred in from Georgia, has easily been the main offensive exploit for this Chippewas team. 21 kills on 40 attempts. On the other side, though, it's still been carried heavy by Maggie King, Julia Marr, and also Abby Wilcoxon now has 9 kills, nearing that double-digit mark. They're going to need those players for the Broncos to step up because it's a 1-point lead for the Chippewas coming down to the 4th set. 14-13. Here's the serve from King. And the kill from Hernandez makes it a 15-13 Central Michigan lead.
She must have sensed we were talking about her over the break. Comes up big right out of the timeout. Gets the kill.
I think you have a mixture of a lot of youth, a lot of experience, and I think a senior coming from Georgia. Talk to head coach Mike Golick. He'll tell you she has some experience on the floor and some timely moves there. Right from the antenna, sends a missile across, and all of a sudden Central's back out ahead by 3, 16-13. Case sets up, and it's out of bounds. Point will go to Central Michigan. 17-13, and both teams going to their bench for this timeout. Here in the 4th set, it's a 2-1 Western Michigan lead. And I'd like to apologize for some technical difficulties here. We'll keep you updated with that score bug missing at the bottom of your screen. Once again, 17-13, Central Michigan leading, trying to stay alive in this one, Matt, because Western Michigan came out strong. They took the first 2 sets. Central Michigan able to squeak out a win in set number 3, and they need to win this one to move on.
They do, and Central Michigan has been doing everything necessary to win this 4th set so far, up 17-13. And Mallory Hernandez has been the ringleader. She's been a beast for this Chippewas team.
And just a 4-point lead for the Chippewas, and they continue to try to go to Mallory Hernandez, who was kind of slowed down out of that timeout that Western Michigan took, but got quickly back on, and that's when we saw that lead expands.
Yeah, big points for the transfer from Georgia. She has been mirroring what King has been doing on Western Michigan's side. Mallory Hernandez has been great in this game for Central.
Well, for Hernandez, came in leading the team with 292 kills this season. Has added 23 to that mark. But at the same time, you look at the focus players for Western, and they've held up their end of the bargain too. Here's a serve from Curtiza. Again, nearly an ace, but Western staying composed. Set up to Hernandez and finds the floor again. 18-13. CMU up by 5.
And that 24th kill of the match from Hernandez ties her for the game lead with King.
Curtiza continues to serve. And there's a dig. And Hernandez denied, but Curtiza with a great effort. Set up, denied on the outside, but Western Michigan's going to keep going. Mers with the attempt that time, and Maidendorp will send it back. Raymond has it in the back row. Hernandez set up, dug out by King. Again from the outside, but one of the very few sets we've seen from Logan Case in this match. It hasn't really gotten to the location in which she purposed it for.
No, and I think she's feeling the pressure that the Chippewas are putting on. Western Michigan's had to send over a couple different free balls.
19-13, 6-point lead for the Chippewas as Erickson keeps it up. The dunk from Claire Ammeraal, and the freshman steals a point. 20-13, and this Central Michigan team is trying to dig themselves out of a two-set hole. They won set 3, 5 points away from a win here in set 4, but they have to keep up this pace they're on. Curtiza serves. King will just bump it across. Hernandez set up and denied at the net. Erickson denied too. Maidendorp off the defense. Make it 21-13. Allie Maidendorp just continues to impress here tonight. Now the second leading scorer on this Central Michigan squad. That's her 8th kill of the night. Curtiza, another nice serve. Sets up Hernandez, who gives it some touch, and again, much different this time, but nails it down. 22-13, Central Michigan expanding the lead.
And some finesse there from Hernandez. Nobody was expecting that little tap just over the net. Beautiful idea to get the point for the Chippewas.
Off the front row, great effort by Curtiza, but also a strong swing from Madison Mers from the antenna. Makes it 22-14, still in favor of Central.
Now we've seen Western Michigan make runs to get things closer in the second and third set. So can't count them out just yet, but the Chippewas are looking to close it soon.
Oh, and that was quick. You said soon. Happened just like that. Ellie Maidendorp with another kill. It's 23-14. Central Michigan trying to secure these last 2 points to send them to a 5th and decisive set. Case sets it up, and King off the top of the net. Maidendorp pushes it to the back corner. Block in the front row. Maidendorp and Erickson team it up, and they get everyone on their feet. 24-14. It's a 10-point Central Michigan lead, and their set point coming up. Cam Olsen with the serve. Julia Marr blocked at the nets. Falls out of bounds, so that point will go to Western. Abby Wilcoxon will enter back in. Murray Boyle will take a quick seat on the bench. Ammeraal sets up Erickson. And too far. Give Western another point. So 24-16. This is one of the larger leads we've seen tonight. The largest out of any set for the Chippewas. 10 points right here in this 4th set.
They need to put this one away soon, though. You don't want it getting close. You don't want the pressure getting on you late in this 4th set when you're trying to tie up the set count.
Well, Central Michigan has some cushion, but you're absolutely right. Can't let it start to get away. Case with the serve. Ammeraal to Maidendorp. Erickson sends it over. Ammeraal dumps it across. Marr with a strong swing, but they'll blow the whistle. Like someone might have stepped across for the Chippewas. And it brings it back to just a 7-point lead, 24-17. Ammeraal to Erickson. King right there to keep it in. Another nice play by King. Wilcoxon sends it across, and Olsen's there to receive. Erickson. King's there again. Glanton sends it over, and a great dig by Raymond. Dig that time by Case. Wilcoxon off the front row, out of bounds. And the Broncos continue to charge here late in this fourth set.
Yeah, only down 6 now. They're not going away easily. Case is serving it once again.
Lead was as large as 10. Now it's down to 6. Ammeraal off the front of the nets, and the whistle will be blown. There were some actions from that front row of the Broncos that was saying that hit the antenna, and I think one of the officials agreed. So it'll be 24-19, and now it's the head coach of the Chippewas, Mike Golick, who calls a timeout, which gives us a second to look at these stats. And really the biggest difference, Matt, in what we saw earlier when we took a look at the stats the first time are the kills. Now almost evened out as Central Michigan trails in the kill department by just 2 to Western, but the block's still there. The serving side of things has definitely benefited the Broncos, but both teams have kind of tried to even things out as we've made it almost through 4 sets.
It has gotten pretty even. One thing that's standing out to me is how far Western Michigan's hit percentage went down. Central Michigan stayed around that 2.59 pretty much the whole match. But in the second set, Western Michigan was up to about 320 at one point. A big difference, and that's what has made a difference in this match.
Well, and I think you bring up a good point there, too. We talked about the efficiency, especially in those first 2 sets. It was 286 and 400, the hitting percentages in the first and second set for Western Michigan. Since then, you take a look at the third, 100. So far in the fourth, .095. So, hasn't been great. Central Michigan, 289 and 250 here in the third and fourth sets. And they're trying to make sure that there's a 5th one here in McGirt tonight. 5-point lead for the Chippewas. Logan Case with the serve. Ammeraal tries to keep it alive, and Raymond able to get it back over. Marr finds a hole in the defense. After the serve, that entire side for Central Michigan was kind of out of order. The veteran center in Case found Marr from the antenna. She made sure there was no questions.
Miscommunication on the back end of the defense once again. Next thing you know, you're out of position and sending over a free ball.
Maidendorf can't quite get it over, but comes up with a block. Wilcoxon will have to send it across. Ammeraal sends it off the front row, out of bounds, and we will see set number 5. Central Michigan takes set 3 and set 4. And we'll be back with the final and decisive set after this. It's been quite the night here from McGirt Arena. Everybody's filled up the stadium, and, well, they've gotten a treat. It was the first 2 sets that went to Western Michigan, the second 2 sets that went to Central Michigan, and now we're coming down to set number 5. And anything can happen now. Well, and there's been a handful of leaders in this game, but for Central Michigan, especially late on in these sets, it's been Ellie Maidendorf that's really decided to energize this offense. 9 kills so far.
Yeah, she has been a leader on this team. Just second in kills on the team to Hernandez, who's going off with Maidendorf, who's been getting blocks. She's been changing shots, and she gets kills when given the opportunity. She's been really good tonight.
She's been involved in the blocks, like you said, Matt. She's been rolling to the bench. She stayed in the middle. Teammates have found her. And a big reason that we've made it to set number 5 here tonight. Leaders overall, the leading kill getter in this match so far has been Valerie Hernandez. 25 kills for the outside hitter for the Chippewas on 46 total attempts. But right behind her, who we highlighted for Western Michigan coming into tonight, Maggie King. 24 kills on 55 attempts. You added 2 aces into that. 15 digs, 2 assists on the block, and wow, what a night she's had. 27 total points.
She was pretty quiet in that the fourth set rather, though. Held to just the 1 kill in that fourth set. Made a huge difference quieting her down.
11 kills compared to 6 attack errors in that fourth set. For the Western Michigan Broncos, Central Michigan played fairly clean. 16 kills, 3 errors, 50 total attempts. Comes out to a 260 hitting percentage. Well, here's another look around the Mid-American Conference. Toledo out ahead of Kent State coming down towards the end of that one. Toledo leads that one 2-1, looking for a win over the Golden Flashes. But taking a look at Northern Illinois, they're ahead of Eastern Michigan 2-1 and also 20-13 in the current set. And that's a big one to keep an eye on, especially for Western Michigan. But you take a look at both of these teams here tonight, and, well, a lot can happen because all 3 of those teams very close, right at the bottom of trying to get to that Mid-American Conference tournament.
We saw that Buffalo Bowling Green score on the bottom, too. What about that? Looking like an upset right now. Buffalo's up 2-1.
Well, Bowling Green has been tough to beat this season, but they've fallen a few times in terms of conference play. Northern Illinois is so important because Western Michigan will wrap up here in Mount Pleasant tomorrow night. Then their next time out on the court will be against Northern Illinois, who has such a similar record. They're sitting at the same exact record right now, with Central Michigan just 1 win ahead of those 2 teams. Iverson-Ammeraal sends the serve. Maggie King trying to get involved. Hernandez keeps it up. The setup to Raymond. Kept alive by Simpkins. Gertiza lets it go out of bounds, and wow, what a matrix type move right there to get out of the way. Lands out of bounds, and Central Michigan gets on the board first.
What a decision there by Gertiza, right at her. Barely able to move out of the way there, but great play.
Their serve from Ammeraal. And just between the 2 defenders, great shot by Abby Wilcoxon. Another great serve, or I should say serve up to Wilcoxon. The assist for Logan Case, who now has another 50 to add to her record. 50 assists for her tonight. Raymond. And they'll say a touch at the net, so Central Michigan will take another 1-point lead.
Now Raymond's going back with serve. One of the best servers on the team in the conference, and look out for this one. Big spot here for the freshman.
Set up, and Wilcoxon denied. Anna Erickson getting the approval from her teammate Maddie Whitfield. And a solo block right there for the senior. One of the most versatile players on this Central Michigan squad. Natalia Raymond with a strong serve. And just inches too far, lands out of bounds, and that'll go to Western.
You said it was a strong serve, just a bit too strong, though.
Well, for Raymond tonight, has no aces, 3 service errors as one of the top servers in the Mid-American Conference. Swing. Great dig by Gertiza. Set up. Lands denied. Again by Hernandez. Wilcoxon. Dug out by Raymond. Here's Erickson. And just a defensive miscue. King couldn't find the ball. It finds the floor first. And it's a 2-point Central Michigan lead.
I think the fans know what's at stake here. Listen to how loud it is getting in McGurk Arena.
Everybody locked in, including both teams on the court. 4-2, Central Michigan ahead as King bounces it off the front row. Ammeraal dumps it over and catches the defense sleeping. Was aggressive with that earlier in this match, but here in the later sets, hadn't seen too many of those moves, but it works. King off the front row, a nice pancake to keep it alive right there from Ammeraal, but just goes into the net. And Western Michigan will bring it back within 2.
Almost able to save that one. Ammeraal coming up big so far at the end of the 4th set and the beginning of this 5th one.
Marr sends it across and a bit too far. Out of bounds. 3-point lead for Central Michigan.
Another big point there from the Chippewas. Extend the lead out to 3 now. And that's a big moment as this only goes to 15 in this 5th set.
Cameron Olson has had a strong match from behind the service line. And it's a strong showing from the front row as Sally Maidendorf gets a part of 3 shots there. And Anna Erickson is able to get it through the defense. Timeout called by Western Michigan, and Anna Erickson has this place on their feet. 4-point lead.
Chippewas have come out to a big lead here in this 5th set. Up 4, can't look back. Western has to take this time out just to slow things down, Riley. Slow their players down. Make them take a breather. Saying, you still got this. We've come back before. In this game they have. No reason why Western can't get back into this one.
They certainly have shown the amount of fight that they've put out there consistently all season on the court tonight. Even after winning the first 2 sets, obviously can get a bit demoralizing when you lose back-to-back, but they have fought and fought and fought. As you can see, a block there from Anna Erickson all by herself, even though Maddie Whitfield was there for some moral support. Anna Erickson, again, getting credit for that point right there. And there's Claire Ammeraal, who really just caught that defense off guard, and they've been able to string together a few very solid points. And Anna Erickson has just found some holes in this defense. So after the timeout, Cameron Olson will stay behind the service line. The serve, kept in by King. Marr sends it out of bounds, and the point will go to Central Michigan. So we've made it to 8 points. Teams will switch sides. 8-3, Central Michigan out ahead, and they're looking to come back. And what an impressive feat this would be. Lost the first 2 sets to their biggest rival here at home. Have the energy of the fans that definitely boosted them throughout this match. This is the 6th time this season the Central Michigan team has reached 6 sets. For Western Michigan, this is time number 5. Central, though, has gone 3-2 in their previous 5 matches that have gone 5 sets. Western Michigan, in their 4 times going 5, 1-3. Marr set up and denied by Maidendorf. Marr will just have to bump this over. Ammeraal forces it across.
Ammeraal just wills that one, forcing another Western Michigan timeout. Chippewas are starting to run away with it. This team is dangerous, Riley.
Well, yeah, the big kill from Anna Erickson that forced the first timeout. An attack error by Julia Marr gets everybody fired up, and with a 9-3 lead, Western Michigan trying to stop that lead for Central. We'll have to use another timeout as we take a look at these stats again. Even closer in the kill department now. The blocks up there as well. Central Michigan getting back to outblocking their opponent, which has certainly been to their benefit this season. The defense has really been there. And when you look at that opponent hitting percentage, that's right around what Central Michigan is used to. They're first in the MAC in opponent hitting percentage. Annually, 181. In this game, Western Michigan hitting 193, and that's after an extremely strong start.
Yeah, right around the median for opponent hitting percentage. Chippewas, when they're not getting blocks, they're forcing tough shots. And they've been forcing the errors, making Western beat them instead of beating themselves.
Well, Cameron Olson still hunkered down behind the service line. 6-point lead for Central Michigan, and they're trying to put this one away. Here's the serve. Set up. Glenton sends it right off of Olson and into the student section here in McGurk. Well, there's a big swing from the freshman. Amanda Glenton, 6'3", middle blocker out of Davison, Michigan. Went to Davison High School. She helped them reach a 31-4 record over the last season and also led them to their second straight Saginaw Valley Championship. Erickson keeping things going. Here's Marr. Nice dig by Raymond. Cross to Erickson again. King keeps it alive in the back row. Raymond again. Nice reception. They just keep going back and forth. Trying to see who can get it past the back row first. Another nice dig by King. Off the front row and off the antenna. That'll go Western's way. Bring it within 4 points. 9-5. Central trying to get those wheels turning again. But Western, they've shown this fight all night and continue to die easily. There's a block from the front row. I haven't said her name in the block department a ton tonight, but Julia Marr, who has contributed 16 kills offensively, gets her first block of the night, makes it 9-6, and sends Central Michigan into a timeout as we take a look at, again, what the current MAC standings would have this tournament looking like this season. Obviously, Buffalo-Toledo matched up there. Central Michigan clinging on to that 6th spot in the Mid-American Conference, but obviously need to finish the task at hand first and try to win this one against Western because there's a real clump trying to fight for that 6th spot.
They do. Central Michigan controls their own destiny in this, meaning if they win out, they're golden. Even if they win tomorrow, that might even clinch it, but that relies on Northern Illinois. It's going to be an exciting tournament. All these teams are really close. They're all really good.
All really good, and set to mention the people who are already getting into that semifinals. Ball State, Bowling Green, really two of the teams that stuck out throughout the Mid-American Conference schedule the entire season and are well on their way to the MAC tournament, just trying to figure out who they're going to be up against. So one tie so far in this 5th set, no lead changes. Central Michigan has been able to keep control thus far, but find themselves up by only 3.
Western Michigan responded really well coming out of their timeout. Let's see how the Chippewas come out after Coach Golick's.
Simpkins with the serve. Maidendorf denied. Marr in on the block again. Along with Brusek right next to her. Maidendorf hasn't been an easy one to deny so far tonight, but that time Western got the block and also some energy. 9-7, just a 2-point lead for the Chippewas. Erickson set up off the front row. Marr was the only one that saw it. Ammeraal dumps it across. Great dig by Simpkins. Off of Gertiza. Erickson keeps it up and Ammeraal sends it over. Through the defense in front of Gertiza. And all of a sudden there's just 1 point separating these two teams.
Western Michigan has completely switched the momentum in this one. Only down 1 now. Said they could make a comeback, and they're proving right now that they can.
The setup, Erickson denied, but Gertiza comes in to save the day. Ammeraal denied at the nets, and they will give that one to Western. I think the officials are saying that the hit from Ammeraal went into the nets and didn't make contact with Western.
And they're looking to see if it might have went off the Western Michigan defenders.
Well, I think that the officials on the floor just overturned this call. Well, there's a lot of talking going on the floor. The scoreboard in the arena still says 9-8. Here's the look. Goes off the tape. Tough to tell if it made contact with the hand. Certainly looked like it grazed it. But right now, they're sticking with the score of 9-8. The official still talking to the scorer's table.
Yeah, they're just going to replay this one.
So still 9-8. Ammeraal sets up Maidendorp. Off the front row, but Gertiza there. Ammeraal just sends it over. The setup, Maidendorp running to the pin, but blocked. Erickson, dug out by Boyle. Maidendorp denied. Marr sends it over the head of Gertiza and out of bounds.
And a great decision there by Gertiza. Lets that one go, and you could see the look of relief on her face when that one landed out.
Couldn't quite get there quick enough that time. Gertiza's been all over the place, but a bit too short for her. Nice setup, solid swing. Western Michigan doing everything that they can to try to pull ahead. Case with the serve. Raymond denied, but Gertiza bumps it up. Raymond again. Case. And point. What a setup by Logan Case. Finding Brusek right over the middle. And we're tied at 10.
This has been a heck of a fifth set by Western Michigan, coming back down. What were they, Riley? 7?
Well, this is the second tie of this fifth set. Last time they were tied was 1-1 as Ammeraal pulls it across quickly, and the Broncos can't handle it. Couple of ties, but Central Michigan has been able to maintain that lead. They have Caleb Brandon, the sophomore, in to serve. Simpkins gets it in the back row. And the officials will say that that point goes to Central Michigan, that there was no touch of the net, that it only hit the net. So they'll say it was 4 hits on the Broncos' side, and all of a sudden, 2-point Central Michigan lead. Case hits it to King. Ammeraal finds the middle of the defense. Every seat in McGurk Arena is empty because everybody's on their feet. Central Michigan is pulled ahead by 3, and Brandon stays back to serve. Marr off the front row, but right to Brandon. Ammeraal set up Whitfield, but dug out. Whitfield gets a piece of it at the net. Back to Raymond off the front row and out of bounds. 14-10, Central Michigan leading.
And everybody in the arena is on their feet. It is match point for the Chippewas, just one away, looking for the victory.
The serve from Brandon. Out of bounds, a service error, and Western Michigan can take a slight breath. Boyer serves. Ammeraal sets up Raymond. Off of Boyle, out of bounds. And that'll do it. Central Michigan comes back from down 2-0 and secures a 5-set victory over their rivals in Western Michigan. Making their case stronger for their trip to the Mid-American Conference Tournament. Still have another match against your rival tomorrow night. But Central Michigan, a ton of grit shown coming back from 2-0.
A huge game for the Chippewas. All seemed lost when they were down 2-0, but 3 straight sets to take this one. And how did they do it? They went right through the defenders. They didn't get too cute by the lines. They went right through them, especially on that last play. Natalia Raymond, just too powerful for Western Michigan tonight.
Well, all around for Central Michigan, they got help from, especially on the offensive side of things, Mallory Hernandez, who finished with 25 kills. Claire Ammeraal ended up finishing with 10, along with 44 assists on the night for the freshman.